All right, so if you're an entrepreneur, you already know this, right? Growth, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. Well, today we're going to break down a framework that's all about helping you stop surviving your growth and start directing it. It's called the Bourne OPS Method. You know the story, right? It's a classic for successful founders. Your vision is finally happening, but instead of feeling free, you feel totally trapped. Every new client, every new team member just adds another layer of complexity, another fire you have to put out. So the big question is, how do you actually scale without all the chaos?
So, let's be real. Does any of this sound familiar? Maybe you feel like you've just hit a wall. Your momentum stalled because you're stretched way too thin. Or maybe you're constantly just plugging gaps in your operations instead of actually building for the future. You're stuck in reactive mode, you're overwhelmed by inefficient workflows, and there's no clear blueprint for what's supposed to come next. Look, these aren't just growing pains. They're massive red flags. They're signals that the very foundation of your business needs a strategic redesign if you ever want to get to that next level.
And that right there is the crucial point. Think about it. When you're building a skyscraper, you don't just hire more construction workers. No way. You need an architect, someone who sees the whole blueprint, who understands how all the systems, the plumbing, the electrical, everything connects. That's what your business needs. Okay, so let's meet the architect behind this entire method. Her name is Erica Bourne. And honestly, her background is what makes this whole approach so powerful and frankly, so different. It was forged in places where building complex, super reliable systems wasn't just a goal, it was absolutely mission critical. I mean, we are talking over 20 years of experience across totally different worlds, federal intelligence, and the corporate sector. Get this. She was a senior technical program manager at the CIA. She was literally responsible for multi-million-dollar programs inside some of the most complex systems on the planet. This isn't just business school theory, you know? This is expertise that was forged in the highest stakes environments you can imagine. And you know, this quote from an executive analysis just hits the nail on the head. A natural architect. That phrase just perfectly captures it, right? It's not just about managing projects. It's about someone who can see that huge 30,000-foot view and then connect it all the way down to the tiny nuts and bolts and do it with total precision and confidence. So it's that exact unique skill set, that architect's brain, that led to the creation of the Bourne OPS Method, a proprietary framework that's designed specifically for intentional, scalable business growth. So what exactly is it? Well, the Bourne OPS Method is a system that brings together three core areas: how your business is structured, how it gets work done, and where it's actually going. It's not just a collection of random tips and tricks you find on a blog. Think of it more like an operating system for your business, designed to build such a strong foundation that when you grow, you do it with confidence, not chaos. All right, so let's dive in and break this down. The whole method is built on these three pillars, which you'll see form the acronym O.P.S: organization, process, and strategy. And you can see right here how it all fits together like a puzzle. First up, organization. This is all about getting the right people in the right seats, making sure everyone knows exactly what they're responsible for. No more confusion. Then you've got process. This is the magic part for a lot of entrepreneurs. It's about optimizing your workflows, automating what you can, and just making everything more efficient. This is how you get your time back. And finally, strategy. This is the glue that holds it all together. It makes sure that every single thing you're doing, every process you build, is pushing you toward that big corporate vision. Okay, so the theory makes sense, right? But what does this actually look like in the real world for a real entrepreneur? Well, the impact is huge. It's a total shift from chaos to clarity. Let me give you a perfect example. This is from a founder who was right in the thick of it. They said their vision was just stuck. They knew they needed to automate things to save time and actually grow, but they were so caught up in the day-to-day grind, they just couldn't break free to build the systems their business was screaming for. And then, here's the after. By applying this framework, they were able to completely change their trajectory. Just listen to the language here: rebranding, stepping confidently, a polished upscale face. That's what happens when you stop reacting and start designing. This chart right here really sums up that whole transformation. It's a fundamental shift, you see, from reactive to strategic. You go from constantly putting out fires to actually building with a blueprint. You go from feeling stuck with stalled momentum to having real intentional growth. This is how you, as a founder, get your vision and your life back. So, this all brings us to a really important question for any entrepreneur who's thinking about scaling up. It's really a challenge to rethink your entire role in the business you built from scratch. Because what we've been talking about here, it's so much bigger than just a method or a process. It is a complete and total mindset shift. It's about going from being an operator, the person caught up in the weeds running the business day to day, to becoming the architect, the one who is intentionally designing its future. And really, that's the final question I want to leave you with. As you look at your own company, your own vision, and all those operational headaches, you have to ask yourself, are you just running your business, or are you ready to start architecting its legacy?